You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating, new, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry. Thanks for joining us on A's Country Radio, and we're also streaming at KPVM.TV. We're also on your Roku devices. It is Thursday, October 30th. In our top story out of Washington, D.C., the blame game goes back and forth between both sides of the aisle regarding the ongoing government shutdown.
In 2013, Senator Chuck Schumer was quick to condemn Republicans for using a government shutdown as leverage. He called it political hostage-taking and said it wasn't the time or place for negotiations.
They think threatening a government shutdown, holding the full faith and credit of the U.S. hostage, is the place they have the most leverage. Now, we agree. They want to keep debating Obamacare, fine. But there's a time and a place for everything. It's called the election of 2014. Republicans should train their efforts at 2014. But to hold everything hostage, which in this kind of government set up by the founders they can do, it's wrong substantively, it's wrong politically. Many of the public's against Obamacare.
That was then. Fast forward to 2025. And the government is once again shut down. But this time, it's Democrats being accused of the very same tactic. Republicans say Schumer is blocking a clean, continuing resolution, a simple funding bill to reopen the government, while insisting on adding policy provisions tied to health care subsidies and insurance credits.
I just want to say to any Democrat in the United States Senate, we are happy to talk about any policy issue. We're happy to talk about health care policy. We're happy to talk about tax policy. We're happy to talk about regulatory policy, but not at the point of a gun. You do not get to take the American people's government hostage and then demand that we give you everything you want in order to pay our air traffic controllers. It's a ridiculous set of demands. Let's reopen the government and then let's sit down and talk about how to compromise on policy for the American people.
Critics call that a double standard, noting that in 2013, Schumer warned against using shutdowns to force policy changes, the same strategy he's now pursuing. But Schumer and his allies argue the difference lies in purpose, saying today's talks protect essential programs, not partisan goals.
Republicans do not even want to talk about fixing health care. Americans are on the brink of a health care crisis unlike we have seen in our lifetimes. Never before have we been in a situation where more than 20 million Americans can see their insurance premiums more than double.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
Why won't you take the deal?
The bottom line is that's no deal. That's a partisan plan that leaves the American people high and dry. And they've asked us for 45 days and 45 days and 45 days. When they say another 45 days, later to them means never. We have to get them to the table and negotiate with us now.
Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. Frankly, this is our only moment of leverage.
Still, the optics are hard to ignore. 12 years ago, Schumer said government funding should never be held hostage. Today, his opponents say, that's exactly what he's doing. Whether it's hypocrisy or just politics coming full circle, the shutdown debate has brought an old argument back to life, with Senator Schumer now contradicting his own words.
And a follow-up now on a story about a man arrested after he claimed he was, quote, the devil. That man was, for some reason, released and was arrested again, this time for the safety of the community.
On October 29, deputies responded to a reported burglary attempt in Pahrump. According to Nye County Sheriff's Office, Peter Dillman was attempting to break into a residence. Authorities say Dillman is a U.S. military veteran who has been diagnosed with PTSD, but in recent months he has become a danger to himself and others due to repeated criminal activity. During the confrontation, Dillman allegedly challenged the officer and refusing to drop what the deputies described as an 8-foot spear. After several commands, he eventually complied and was taken into custody without further incident. Deputies reported that Dillman made statements consistent with being in a psychotic state. He was arrested and remains in custody and is considered a danger to the public and the victim's family.
And in today's sport news, you can celebrate Nevada Day with a Vegas Golden Knights matinee this Friday. Mikey Ruhan has those details and more right now in sports.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. The NBA is once again bringing big-time basketball back to Las Vegas. The league just announced that the Emirates NBA Cup semifinals and championship games will hit T-Mobile Arena December 13th and the 16th. Basketball, bright lights, and probably at least one Elvis impersonator trying to dunk in full costume. This in-season tournament, now in its third year, features all 30 NBA teams competing for a chance to hoist the NBA Cup trophy. Over in football, ahead of the Raiders' Sunday showdown with the Jacksonville Jaguars, tight end Brock Bowers says he's ready to roll after missing 3 straight games with a knee injury. The UNLV men's soccer and men's swimming and diving programs will move from the Western Athletic Conference to the Mountain West beginning in the 2026-27 academic year, with the MW's editions of the sports announced by the conference office Wednesday. On the ice, the Vegas Golden Knights celebrate Nevada Day this Friday with a matinee against the Colorado Avalanche. So if you've got the day off, there's no better way to show your state pride than yelling at hockey players in gold armor before lunch. And tonight, Pahrump Valley Trojans face the Meadows School for the first round of the 3A playoffs. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Thanks so much, Mikey. In more local news, J.G. Johnson Elementary School here in Pahrump is hosting an event for Pahrump veterans. Haley Grabby has those details.
J.G. Johnson Elementary School is inviting the community to attend its Veterans Day Appreciation Assembly. The event will take place on November 10th from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. at J.G. Johnson Elementary, featuring student performances and music from a live band in honor of local veterans. Following the assembly from 2:30 to 3 p.m., veterans are invited to enjoy coffee and cake as a gesture of gratitude from the students and staff. For more information, you can contact the school at 775-727-6619.
Well, what are your plans this Nevada Day and Halloween weekend? If you need some help, we have your weekend road trip tip and more when News 25 returns.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, are you looking to get away this holiday weekend? Mikey Ruhan has a look at this year's Beatty Days celebration, which promises a full weekend of excitement for the entire family.
Looking to get away this weekend? Just about an hour and a half away in Beatty, Nevada, hosted by the Beatty Chamber of Commerce. Beatty Days kicks off this Thursday, Friday, October 31st at noon. Visitors can enjoy vendor booths, live music, museum tours, and the popular poker walk, plus a model railroad exhibit by the Las Vegas Garden Railroad Club and the 8th annual Aaron Huseman Desert Art Contest. After 3 o'clock, things shift into high gear with the always hilarious tricycle race, followed by the Halloween costume contest at 5:15. Then it's time for some pageant flair with the crowning of Miss and Junior Miss Beatty Days, leading up to a 1900s reenactment at 6. Saturday, November 1st starts bright and early with a pancake breakfast at 7 a.m. and the Tombstone 5K run and 2K walk at 8:30. The highlight of the morning, the Beatty Days Parade celebrating the town's 121st birthday. Stepping off at 10 a.m., classic car lovers can check out the Still Cruisin' Car Show from 11 to 3, while kids can fill their bags at a trunk or treat. History buffs can enjoy guided tours of Rhyolite Ghost Town, and thrill seekers won't want to miss the fan-favorite bed races at 1 p.m. There will also be plenty of light-hearted competition from cornhole, hula hoop contests, to a root beer belching showdown, horseshoes, and Old West shootouts. And the fun keeps rolling Sunday, November 2nd, with more live music, games, and a special dance performance by Beatty Kids at 10 a.m. Then it's time for the annual Pet Parade at 11.
In today's health news, many medical experts say most people rarely think about the dangers of HIV anymore, and some may even believe that problem has been solved. But as we learn in this report, that is far from the case, and instances of HIV infections are happening right here in your community.
Today's health report is brought to you by Desert View Hospital. When you or a loved one needs medical attention, Desert View Hospital is ready to help. We've been providing friendly and compassionate care to our neighbors since 2006, including emergency services available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Visit desertviewhospital.com to learn more. With limited exceptions, physicians are not employees or agents of this hospital.
Despite meaningful progress in HIV prevention, the epidemic is far from over, with about 31,000 new diagnoses each year in the U.S. HIV prevention medicine, known as pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP, continues to be one of the most effective tools in reducing transmission.
You can go onto highly effective therapy. That means that for your own health and happiness, you can live a long, good life, but also, importantly, you cannot transmit the virus to anybody else if you're on effective therapy, and that's a thing that we call U equals U, undetectable equals untransmittable.
HIV continues to have a disproportionate impact on certain communities, underscoring the need for comprehensive prevention strategies and reminding us that it's still an issue happening here at home.
I know in Las Vegas, there's more than 3,000 people living with HIV from our last stats. Also, again, with continued new infections, around 500 new infections every year.
The first step in preventing HIV is knowing your status. About 13% of people in the U.S. living with HIV don't know they have it. That's why getting tested is so important.
Well, from health news to sugary sweet news. In today's Halloween-related story, if you think your state has the biggest sweet tooth, you might want to think again, because a new report from Instacart is revealing which parts of the country are stocking up on the most candy this Halloween.
Leading the sugar rush once again, Utah. Since joining Instacart, the Beehive State has consistently topped the charts, buying candy a whopping 50% more often than the national average this October. The Mountain West and Midwest clearly have a serious craving for sweets, with Wyoming, Oregon, Idaho, and Nebraska rounding out the top 5. Not everyone's indulging. States like Hawaii, Florida, and California are buying far less candy than most, proof that America's sweet tooth isn't evenly shared. And when it comes to what Americans are buying, the results may not surprise you. Once again, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups reign supreme, taking the #1 spot for the most candy sold by weight this October. Peanut M&Ms and classic M&Ms weren't far behind, followed by Kit Kat and Snickers. Chocolate nearly dominates the nation's candy cravings, but fruity favorites like Sour Patch Kids and Haribo Gold Bears managed to hold their ground in the top 10. And if you think candy preferences stop there, think again. Each state has its own sugar-coated signature. While Reese's, M&Ms, and Kit Kat may dominate nationally, every state has its own quirky candy crush. By comparing candy purchases across the country, Instacart spotted some fascinating local favorites. Candy corn found its biggest fans in the Midwest and South, with Alabama, Kansas, Mississippi, and Nebraska all stocking up far more often than the rest of the country. Sour Patch Kids dominated in pockets of the Northeast and beyond, winning over states like Colorado, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New York, and Texas. Lifesavers made a splash across the East and Southeast, popping up most often in Connecticut, Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. And in Louisiana, Now and Later was the runaway favorite, with residents buying the Chewy Classic at rates far higher than anywhere else. So whether you're into peanut butter, sour gummies, or something old school and chewy, one thing's for sure: Americans may be united by their love of candy, but everyone's got a favorite flavor of sweet.
Well, congratulations to Utah and all of the dentists there. News 25 will be right back.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back. Well, in today's spooky, powerful news, they lurk in the shadows of your home, silently stealing money right out of your wallet. Meet the energy vampires that are feasting on power 24/7.
This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Valley Electric and its family of companies focused on serving our members. We're better together.
Greetings, mortals. You may think you are safe in your humble abodes, but I am here to tell you that my kind is already among you. We are not just creatures of the night. We are creatures of the current. We are the energy vampires. And we are everywhere, hiding in plain sight. We lurk in the shadows. We feast on your power even when you are not using us. We don't just consume energy, we drain your lifeblood, your hard-earned money. We have an insatiable thirst for power. The computer in your office, the microwave in your kitchen, the phone charger by your bed, and yes, even your precious video game console, waiting in standby mode for its next adventure. We are all secretly draining your power 24/7, and we love it. But alas, you can defeat us. You can slay my kind permanently. My secrets are now your weapons. Your first weapon, unplugging. When you're not using electronic device, simply unplug it from the wall. This is your wooden stick, your silver bullet. Your second weapon, power strips. With on-off switches, all your connected devices, your TV, your game console, your sound system, into a single strip. When you are done, simply flip the switch. You'll kill a whole nest of my friends at once. For those of you with a touch of magic, use a smart plug. These devices allow you to control and schedule when your electronics get power, even when you're not home. Your very own digital stake through the heart of my kind. Don't let us haunt your home and your wallet. Take back control. Unplug us. Kill the standby power. And watch your savings grow.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Time to take one of our final looks of October out our Lerner & Rowe weather cam. It is a beautiful end of October day, not a cloud in the sky in that direction, and we still have wonderfully warm temperatures during the day. A closer look at our weather forecast after this break.
Weather is sponsored by the Nevada Dairy Farmers and the Dairy Council of Nevada, sharing the love of all things dairy. Celebrate the best moments with milk. Milk the moment. And the weather is also brought to you by the Ponderosa Dairy, Nevada's largest dairy, fresh from our farm to your table.
And time now to take a look at our weather in Pahrump, Las Vegas, and the surrounding areas of the Silver State. Death Valley's high today, only 93, dropping down to 61 overnight. Las Vegas tops out at 82, then dips down to 57 overnight. Amargosa's high 85 with a low of 50. Beatty high 80 with a low of 47. Goldfield 71, dropping down to the upper 30s. Tonopah tops out at 69, dropping down to the lower 30s as well as Carson City topping out at 72 with a low of 36 overnight. And the weather near Twins of Fallon and Fernley top out in the upper 60s and mid to low 30s overnight. And it is currently 80 degrees here in Pahrump. Our high today was 83 with winds out of the south-southwest at 4 miles per hour. Humidity moderate, 10%. Sunrise was at 7:05 a.m. And overnight, we can expect a low of 51 degrees in Pahrump with winds out of the east at 5 miles per hour. Humidity increases to 19%. Sunset will be at 5:49 p.m. And looking ahead to our 7-day forecast, our last day of October on tomorrow, it's a beautiful sunny day with a high of 83, lows in the upper and lower 50s. As those temperatures decrease, remember to watch out for trick-or-treaters out there on the roadways, and you may want to take a light jacket, you trick-or-treaters. And starting off November, we will have highs in the low 80s, upper 70s, and lows in the mid-50s overnight. And remember to fall back this weekend. We turn those clocks back Sunday overnight. And we'd like to say a special thank you to everyone who attended the 3rd Annual Communication and Journalism Internship Fair. All of the local Las Vegas TV stations were there. Channel 13, Channel 8 always sends out a wonderful crew. You could see Sherry Swinsk there. Nate Tannenbaum was there. That's Eunice from Channel 3 and Monica from Fox 5. We had hundreds of students attend in waves throughout the day coming through to speak with internship providers. And we'd like to say a special thanks to the Dean of the School of Arts and Letters at the College of Southern Nevada, Dr. Richard Krafchak, who provided a grant for funding for food at the event. Krispy Kreme was provided, and we'd also like to say a special thanks to the new chair of the communication department, Charlene Gibson, who facilitated procuring those funds for the food at our event. It was a wonderful success. And if you did not get a chance to attend our internship fair, we have a public speaking festival coming up on Friday, December 5th on the West Charleston campus of CSN. It will be in the K building, and the public is invited to attend our final rounds at 5 p.m. and see the best speakers of the day and the awards ceremony. A fun time to be had for all, and wonderful events always happening at the College of Southern Nevada. Well, that does it for this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry, and from all of us here at KPVM and A's Country Radio, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the air next newscast. Good night.